Good evening from Washington, D.C., everybody. My name is Parthiv Shah. I am a business growth strategist. My team and I provide sophisticated systems and processes that help you grow your business, generate more revenue, save you time, and increase your profit. We are here on this show with my friend Brent and my friend Shaukat from Australia. Shaukat, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hey, Parthiv, Shaukat here. I work with businesses who are looking to take advantage of the post-COVID economy, either by partnering, collaborating, and eventually selling. So anybody interested in that can hit me up on LinkedIn.
And let me introduce Brent. Brent is the elephant in the room, hence the name of the show, EITR, Elephant in the Room. Brent is a mascot to my book, Brent Never Forgets. Brent is an elephant, so he does not forget. We're humans. I'm human. Shaukat is human. You are human if you're watching this show. And when you forget, you fail to do what you should have and could have done, or even worse, what you forget to do what you said you were going to do. That causes brand damage. When you fail to do what you could have and should have to a prospect, there is a opportunity cost and the relationship suffers. So Brent, business relationship system for your enterprise, is an operating system for your business that includes your CRM, your content management system, your customer relationship management system, your business management system, your operational system, your growth operating system. All those systems combined represent Brent. So you have Brent in your life also. So every show, Brent comes to us with a question that Shaukat and I try to answer. And tonight, Brent asks a very interesting question. I don't like the question per se, so I will probably restate his question before answering it. But let's just look at what he typed. And Brent represents most small businesses because I get this question quite a bit. I need more leads. I need to grow, but air costs are so high. How do I survive in this market? How do I survive in this economy? So that is the question. How do you feel about the question and how would you answer it, Shaukat?
I'll get you to answer it because you're the expert in this. But I think it's a very relevant question. The digital marketing used to be cheap. Now it's higher than ever. Margins are lower than ever. Customers are less loyal than ever. Well, if you do it wrong. So you're the expert in this. Why don't you start off and I'll throw in some points from my humble experience.
No, expert, nothing. Let me ask you some questions. I just know how to make money. You know how to keep money. So you got to answer this too. Tell me, since when do you think this problem is happening? Is it a post-COVID thing or?
It's in the mind. It's in the mind of, see, here's the thing, right? Most businesses by default look for the cheapest ad spend, which is a big mistake. Where's the cheapest I can advertise? It's not, you're not building a business, you're building a house of cards. So to me, I really resonate with what Dan Kennedy teaches is you want to be in a situation which allows, he uses the maximum allowable cost per lead. You need to be in a situation where you can outspend your competition and now you can have a business because when ad spend rises and your competition dissolves, you're still dominating the market. So I don't think it's a post-COVID thing. I think it resonates more as more companies embrace e-commerce, online advertising, more bricks and mortars offline, embracing online. So that's where they're realizing it. But it should be, this is the first thing every business should think about. How do I structure a business, products and services where I can outspend my competition? And no, they don't need to be a Rolls Royce at all or a Bentley. They don't need to be selling ultra rich products. So that's my thoughts.
So let's quantify the problem, right? And I'm going to restate Brent's question. I think a better question should be, and let me type it in the chat, okay? I think the better question is, I need to grow. How do I fund my growth? That's a macro, that is an overarching question.
Can I add one word to that?
I need to grow. How do I fund my growth?
How do I fund my growth sustainably?
Right. So basically, so let's look at what happened and quantify the problem, because the problem Brent brings in the question, the air costs are so high, is not an untrue question. Okay. So let's just looking at my own business. I lost 87% of my top line revenues in 2.5 days post-COVID. 2.5 days in March of 2020. People called, I want out. People called, I want out. Okay. Cost of lead went up considerably post-COVID. Lead to appointment ratio went down considerably. Lead appointment to close ratio went down considerably. So if you aggregate the elevated cost of lead by 30%, lead to appointment ratio cut by 50%, and appointment to close ratio cut by 50%, it's a 5x delta. I need 5 times more leads than what I was getting pre-March 2020, right? And my revenues are slashed by 87%. Now, to cut cash reserves, I know I have to spend money to get out of this problem, and more money I spend, faster I get out of the problem. I get that. Most people don't, but I get that. So, but I don't have 5x of my pre-March 2020 marketing budget, right? So what do? So the real question, and this question that Brent is posing is for real. In 2022, how can I fund my growth? Cost of lead is going up for whatever the digital gods are doing. Yes, cost of advertising has gone up substantially. And it's not just cost. They also mess with what you can and cannot say. There is this content compliance. I'm not going to use the word censorship, but you can't say it because our platform, we won't allow it. It's nothing to do with law. Facebook wouldn't let you say X or Y. YouTube wouldn't allow you to say the words A, B, and C in one sentence. Okay, so that is that. So there is that sales prevention department imposed on you by digital marketing. Right? Your email filtration systems have gone up. So there are more spam filters. The probability of your perfectly good email likely to hit a recipient has gone down. So that game has gotten more sophisticated, and there are a bunch of things in email deliverability you have to learn and do just to kind of be delivered, not be recognized or be heard, but just be delivered. And then there is the whole trust issue. People don't want to trust you. I believe market has shifted. I have seen this in America, and I think I can speak for the worldwide economics. But the major shift in how humans buy is such a massive shift, Shaukat. I would equate it to the impact of economic or industrial revolution. What's happening in 2020 and 2021 is of historic proportion. Do you agree with that or no?
What was that?
Do you agree with my observation?
I have a couple of different views, but please continue. I'm just noting it down. I do have a couple of, it's not too different, but it is different. But keep going.
Then let's make the matters a little worse, right? There is something else. After spending money on marketing, you will generate leads. After playing your cards right, you will generate deals. Now let's talk about cost of delivery. Cost of living is going up. This is worldwide. I think you might be seeing that in Australia also, but this is true in America. What we used to be able to buy in 2018, $400,000, we cannot buy in 2022. What we can buy in 2021, we will not be able to buy in 2025. And this is not just a normal 3% inflation. We are talking non-trivial rise in price of everything. Okay. Cost of gasoline goes up, therefore cost of transportation goes up if you are in the business of doing anything with any merchandise, right? There is transportation that affects it. So your COGS goes up, your cost of transportation goes up. The cost of labor goes up. The cost of hour is going to go up. And post-COVID, people have realized that they want a better life. So they want to do less output per hour. So if you put everything I just said together, Brent's problem is a really big problem, and I feel for him. How are you going to make ends meet? How are you going to live? How are you going to make this all work out? Somebody did upset your apple cart. So here is what I would like to recommend to Brent. Actually, before I go into my recommendations, because I have some recommendations, do you want to share your opinion on the State of the Union?
Just, it's very well said, very comprehensive. I didn't want to interject. It's always a learning opportunity to hear you talk. So 3 points I'll talk to. The first one is sales prevention department, rightly so, censorship. A lot of people would agree it is censorship. The second point was people don't want to trust you. I'll come to that. And number 3, cost of living, just costs going up. Totally agree. It's just ludicrous the way costs are escalating. So again, all of these, so sales prevention department, so when I joined sales in 1999, 2000, I read all these Tommy Hopkins books and Zig Ziglar, etc. One of the things I learned is that when everybody's panicking, there's opportunity. And Dan Kennedy talks about opportunity and adversity. So when the when you've got institutions saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, what do the majority do? Put their hands up, they give up, they go to a local pub and they complain. What do the minority do, the 20%? They see this as a barrier to entry for their competition. And they ask one powerful question: how can I use this to my advantage when everybody's panicking? So that's the difference between a business person and like JC said, I'm not a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I am a businessman. So if you're a business and you're not JC, you're in trouble. Okay. So sales prevention department is a very good thing as far as I'm concerned. Regulation, anything that makes life difficult is great. because your competition is sweating. Second point, people don't want to trust you. I do disagree slightly, and I like to back it up. I don't have research data, but just biggest explosion of cryptocurrency scam, investing scam. I don't know in America, but in Australia, we hear this regularly, that watch out before you give people money. So I'd like to think people want to trust you, but because of so many scams, they're afraid. And again, that presents an opportunity, right? We do want to do things. We're human beings. We want to connect with other human beings. So yes, once you get ripped off, your statement is accurate. But inherently, we want to trust. We want to deal with. So there's another opportunity now to rise up instead of being a business. It's being a true trusted authority, not advisor. Eric Gelko, authority. So not just being a trusted advisor. Right from the beginning, before they've ever spoken to you, before they've contacted you, you position yourself as the only viable option. Again, the J brand term. I'm using very generic terms because there's a way to address this. And the third one, cost of living. Now, again, to sum up all these three, but particularly for the cost of expenses, whether it's living, labor, transportation. Again, Dan Kennedy talks about moving up the pyramid. No, you don't need to sell Rolls Royces, but if you are selling a Honda, figuratively, maybe start looking at offering a BMW 3 equivalent, a BMW 5, and a Acura. I think in the US, Acura is owned by Honda.
Really?
Well, if costs are going up, you need higher margin products. You need to maximize your existing sales. So
what you're saying is, if you're selling BMW, sell a cheaper product.
No. I'm saying if you're selling a Honda, sell a BMW.
Okay. I agree with you.
Sell an
I was
Acura.
like, hey.
Offer an Acura, offer more options, find other things that people buy before and after. Start selling Honda motorcycles to the same customer.
Yeah.
They bought a car, maybe they want a motorcycle. So think about going up the pyramid, because at the end of the day, I really like this presentation where, and I think this is back in 2008, Parthiv, you would remember this. In 2008, he had post-GFC, he had a seminar about pricing strategy. And he talked about, don't quote me, he said, whenever these things happen, crisis, the middle income earners explode. 2/3 go up, 1/3 go down. So there's an explosion. Now, if you follow the 2/3 going up, they want to spend more. It's called retail therapy. They're panicking. Not everybody goes to God anymore, right? They don't ask God. The God is their local shopping center. They want to feel good. And I'm not talking about business to consumer only. I'm talking business to business. If you're selling to businesses, those business owners who are your clients, they're looking to fortify themselves. They're looking at, I need a fortress to survive this economy. I need to build a moat, like Perry Marshall talks about his 80-20. So in his Renaissance program. So even if you're selling to business, they're thinking, I need to survive this. How do I survive this? Because my costs are going up too. Right? So cybersecurity. So those are my
costs. You just said it very well. My costs are going up too. So the entrepreneur also needs to make more money and figure out how to make it.
I'll just sum it up with 3 words. And again, I learned this from Dan Kennedy from day one. Know your buyer. Know your buyer, because if you're not in touch with your buyers and these things happen, you're in trouble. I think Robin Robbins, I remember Robin Robbins, as soon as COVID happened for the IT industry, she went and created a fantastic seminar on how to take advantage, because all these IT managed service providers were calling and said, look, my customers are going broke or they can't afford to pay my managed services fees. What do I do? So immediately she set up a webinar, reestablished herself as a trusted authority, took advantage. So know your buyer, talk to them, educate them, keep in touch with them. You did the same thing, Parthiv. Your revenue went down. Okay, but you told me something very golden, words of wisdom. You're not going to fire any staff. And you're going to still serve your clients, your good clients. And when they can afford to, they'll pay you. Now, you can't do that, Parthiv, unless you understand the ascension and the pyramid model. You can't do that if you're only catering to the low-end customers. There's no margins for that. So what you did was fortified your business, but more importantly, you protected the assets of your business, which are your staff and the relationships. So Just my input before you give your recommendations.
I have been taking some notes based on what you said, and I have a few interesting points to make. 6. Tell me if I run out of time. Okay. So here's how I have 6 recommendations I want to make that every small business can think about doing.
Let's go for it. We are 40, just over 40 minutes in, but let's go for it. 6 recommendations.
Okay. 1, raise your prices. You know why? Because you can. You're expecting it. Take what you're charging in 2021 and add a couple of what you can justify. Okay. So I have always sold. So my services are, we have to meet for a day of consult where you fly out to me. And then from that point on, we start working on things together, right? So literally the first transaction is a day of consult. And I wasn't post-COVID, I didn't sell enough days per month. But I did sell, but not as many as I was pre-COVID. So I raised the cost of my day. Okay. So it's now, am I going to raise my prices again in 2022? No. It's going to stay at 2022 at 2020 levels. So I don't need to raise my prices because my profits are calibrated to a point where I'm comfortable. And I don't want to inadvertently engage in what is considered excessive profit. So let's talk about excessive profit. Do you know what excessive profit means?
Look, it's a perception. Predatory pricing, I think, is another word for it. Taking advantage. A lot of it is perception.
No. This is not spiritual. There is what's called reasonable profit. Your customer wants you to make healthy profit. Because if you don't make enough money, you will not live, and you dead, they are worse off. So they want you to make a reasonable profit. But when you make excessive profit, it will lead to erosion or breakage of the relationship. So if you want to keep a client for an extended period of time in your life, you have to make sure that you don't have excessive profit problem. That means you have to make sure that you deliver enough value for the money you take, or else the relationship will break. So raise your price, but not to cross the line where you have excessive profit.
You know, that point, raise your price, I think we need to clarify, because one thing is just raising your price and walking away. Another thing is raising your price and raising the standard of service. And it's noticeable. People can see the difference. That, hey, yes, I'm paying more, but you're more accessible. You're not in a rush to hang up on me, whatever that might be. You answer my faster email turnaround. So there has to be an associated increase in value delivered.
I think we can have a whole episode on pricing strategy, but I want to make my other 5 points. Can I?
Go ahead.
Okay. Second, recalibrate your deliverables. Look at what you have been delivering and see if that is what the market wants. You might be doing dumb and obsolete things that your market no longer wants, but you do it, and therefore your cost of goods are what they are. Can you reduce your cost of doing business by eliminating something from your package that is irrelevant, stupid, moot, or useless to your clients? So you can raise your profit without hurting the value you provide. Okay. So that means look within. Look at what you're selling. Put yourself in the customer's shoes and say, okay, with this, in this box, I get shoes and socks. Do we have to deliver socks every time we deliver a pair of shoes? Okay, so that's one. The next thing is, what is it that you include in the package? Can you make it now sold separately? Do you remember back in the day, every time you went on plane, they just gave you food?
They gave
Now
us
they
food,
sell.
and I used to get a little toy plane as well back in the 80s.
Yeah. Now they sell food, right? Now they sell food on plane. Drinks used to be free. Now they sell you drinks. Now in first class, they would give you food and drinks, but the large portion of the plane is economy, and there they wouldn't give you anything except free water and free soft drinks. What is it that you include in your package that you can say, yeah, no, that's extra now? What is the most, one of the greatest example of that is batteries sold separately. Every toy needs a battery, and battery is not included. Right? Battery not included. Why? That is a necessary component that is not included in the package anymore. Right? Okay. Number 4, figure a way to get into monthly recurring revenue. What can you sell them so you get a monthly paycheck? Because when someone is on monthly recurring revenue, over time, your profits will augment. Right? Number 5, assuming you have either monthly recurring revenue or you have clients that buy have opportunities to buy multiple things through the year, how long can you keep them as a client? Do you know how long I have been with them, Kennedy? I joined in 2009. So I was just doing some math. I just, for fun, I logged into my magnetic marketing account, clicked on invoices, and I saw, so all the invoices, you can just keep flipping pages, 7 pages. Okay. So I exported, I copy paste them into an Excel just to see how much money I have spent on what used to be back then, it used to be called GKIC, from Bill Glazier time to Russell Brunson. How much money did I spend? Do you want to take a guess how much money I spent on them?
300,000?
How much?
Few hundred thousand? 300,000. What did you get out of it?
A whole new life. I don't regret it. I'm grateful for everything I got.
And you think some people might think that's excessive profit.
But I didn't write them the biggest check. I mean, they have people who wrote them much bigger checks than I did. But I am a guy who joined the tribe in 2009 and never left. I haven't had a single month of lapsed membership. I'm the kind of client they want to have, keep, cherish, treasure. How many Parthivs do you have? How many obscenely loyal clients do you have? And then last thing, ask for referrals. So there is a book I want to recommend. I just bought this. Actually, one of my clients told me to buy this book. I think it's out of print, but you can buy it used. Up the loyalty ladder. His name is Sean Perkins. My client's name is Sean Perkins. And it's a $23 book. If you can buy brand new, I couldn't find a brand new copy. I had to buy used with like 10, 15 bucks. But I'm going to study this book. And I'm going to be making some modifications to the referral program. I actually have, one of the things I do for my client is build a referral marketing system for them. And I'm going to make some changes to the program that we are currently building for the clients. So these are the 6 things I recommend that you do to fund your growth. And if you have noticed, none of these 6 things have anything to do with ad costs are so high.
To just summarize this, I'll recommend a book as well in a moment. But again, a business needs to really think about, and coming back to your sunrise, high noon, sunset philosophy. If you're in the high noon and sunset, you need to start thinking about who's going to invest in my business, who's going to buy my business fully or partially, and what do I need to do to make my business sell at my terms, regardless of the economy. And the recommendations you gave are just that. Now, if you're a buyer and you're an investor, we're all investors, whether we like it or not. Whether it's direct investments or the 401k in US, superannuation in Australia, you're thinking, if I'm going to put $1 in this business, what system do they have in place to give me back my dollar along with a friend? Needs to be a vending machine. So the 6 points is a great place to fortify your business. Now, I'll recommend the book we talked about last time, which is the Almost Alchemy. Perfect. And what I like to do is I like to look at the cheat sheet.
Oh yeah, the alchemy. Yeah.
At the back of this book is called Dan Kennedy's Found Money Map. I don't like to reinvent the wheel, Parthiv. I like learning from the best, so that's why I'm talking to you as well. So this Found Money Map.
Yeah, the Found Money Map. Yeah, I have that book. Yeah.
Page 1. Well, you already know which one is it. There's 45 different ways, right? 45 different ways to find money in your business.
Yeah.
If you implement what you've just said, 6 points, and on a quarterly basis, review the Found Money Map and get an expert, get someone to come in to help you find more money in your business. You don't have a business. You have a fortress. We have a fortress where you can comfortably retire eventually. I'd say 3 to 5 years. You don't need to implement all 45. You implement what you've just said, and maybe a couple more. Very soon you start dominating your market. Very soon. It's not long. Max, like you said, it's all about numbers. It's all about max. So this book is Change Your Math, Change Your Business, Change Your Life. You talked about the loyalty ladder, your clients. If we're not feeding our brains, especially in this environment, you're either sinking or thriving. I don't think surviving is an option anymore, not for long. If you're surviving, it won't be for long. So either someone's going to read this in your industry, or not necessarily this, but apply the principles and action points this, and your survival becomes sinking very quickly. They'll just take all your clients, they'll take your supplies, they'll even take your staff. Maybe you'll end up working for them. It's a very scary thought. So unless businesses get serious, coming back to the main topic, I need more leads, but ad costs are so high. How do I survive in the market? How you survive in the market is the 6 recommendations, and looking at ways to find money that actually is in your business already. Just get a shovel, right? Get someone to help you with that, and be patient. One last closing comment, Parthiv, only because this topic is very important. Who was saying this? I can't remember, maybe you would know, but we overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year and we underestimate what we can achieve in 5 years.
Who said that?
I don't know, but it's just amazing. It's mind-blowing. So how often do we think in a 12-year plan, 12-month plan, and we don't achieve our results and we give up? But hang on, these 5 years are going to go by anyway, unless something happens to us. But these 5 years are going to go. Why not?
It's Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, is it? So, well, look what happened to Brent.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire, and he at one time he was only owning 11% of Microsoft, and yet he was a billionaire. 11%. Can you imagine owning your company, Parthiv? 11% of your company and being richest or among the richest men in the world. Can you imagine that? Only 11% of your company. So those are my thoughts. I'm done for today. But
thank you.
Over to you.
So if anybody wants this book, reach out to me and I'll FedEx you the book. I bought 250 copies of this book.
Did you read all of them?
Hmm?
Did you read all of them?
I actually wrote an essay that you can download. I'll email anybody who wants. So basically, I have a 3-page write-up on what I learned from that book that I can share also.
Share that. Give me the link. I'll add it. We've gone over the hour, so I think we're done.
Okay. Let's see. So thank you very much for joining in this episode. This has been longer than usual, but it's a topic very close to my heart. And I hope you found something from here that will help you grow, not just survive, but thrive.
And for those who are losing sleep over this, there's some good news on the horizon. So it's been a 1-hour conversation, but definitely a valuable conversation based on principles which can be applied in the next crisis, the next revolution. It's the same thing. All right, we're done.